I know everybody. I did not forget Fridays with Dannphan. I am here. Although yes, we are starting the stream much later than the usual time. Funny enough, the 6 o'clock streams were actually what I was considering to be the alternative time slot for Fridays with Dannphan. Unfortunately, it does mean that we have to say goodbye to some people who are on like the super late time and would not be able to tune in if it was any later than the 4:30 Eastern Standard Time slot that we usually pop on here for. But you know what, guys? Sometimes that's just how it be. Sometimes we just gotta change up the schedule just a little bit. As I've mentioned before, it's very difficult to keep something consistent. Mostly just because when you live with other people, what other people do influences what you can do at the time. So yeah, we had to push Friday with Dannphan a little bit later, but it's alright. It'll still be a fun stream. And who knows, maybe some new faces will pop on or pop in to chat and whatnot. I remembered water this time. That's an important thing to remember. So we got a bunch of new things that we can talk about tonight. I guess the first newest of the news is that we have a new comic onto Burning Star Comics. I know, we've been pumping them out as often as we can pump these comics out. So we have Searchers by Mark Moore. Some of you might know him as Subliteral on YouTube. Yes, another YouTuber. So we got the digital version, or you could also pre-order the physical print. And this is a 32-page floppy that we're going to be printing on. Excellent, excellent artwork, as you can see. Look at that. This looks straight out of the 90s right here. I love it. And this features a story where, like, dimensions have collided. And now, like, humans are fighting this war with this other species of snake women, right? I know how you guys like your snake women. Not today, though. Today we're killing the snake women. So, wrong comic. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so he comes across this girl who is also right there on the... Oh, a little bit too zoomed in on her face there. She has this weapon that he would like to use to turn the tides of the war. So, you can pre-order the physical print. We've not printed them yet, but we're counting up your orders. And if you want to read it right now, right this second, you can just buy the digital and download it right now. Pre-order's still going on for Sonic City Witch as well. I'm not neglecting any work with Sonic City Witch. Don't you worry about me. I've been working on it. I'm mostly just waiting for the last few pages to be done. And then, even when I get those, I have to do the lettering and the shading on those. And then, additionally, I need to get it into the hands of beta readers so we can typo catch, so that we can catch any plot holes, and just polish it up real good before it gets into the hands of the people who ordered it. Because I want to make sure that the comics I'm coming out with are as high quality as possible. Of course, I know people lower their standards for indie comics, especially nowadays. I feel like everyone has kind of generally lowered their standards. I want to keep raising those standards back up. That is my goal throughout this whole publishing deal. I want people to be slowly raising those standards back up to where they used to be. And we're gonna do that with good comics. Good comics No more publishing with typos. We're gonna do our best to typo catch. But my god. Especially with the longer comics, typos get harder and harder to catch. God damn it. I managed to get typos in Reaper, and I just, you know, thought to myself, man, I guess I should just commit seppuku. But no more. We're gonna do better going forward. There's also new merch on Burning Star. I made a post about that today. Yeah, there's new merch. Look at it. That's new. Some nice new stuff. I also added this slider so that you can always just see what's new right there, right below. Good stuff. Yeah, I think some people will enjoy just being able to see what's new right there on the front page. But yeah, so the keychains we got It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You tea change. I have one in my hand right now. I actually made these a while ago. I know the camera just doesn't like it. Once it focuses on this, it won't focus on me anymore. So part of me is like, oh man, I better not. But yes, I have the It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You keychains. Running on coffee, love, and guns. Can relate. I also got the stickers. These stickers are actually pretty freaking huge, I gotta say. It's got like that subtle holographic effect too, rather than the broken glass holographic effect. Which I do like. I like this effect very much. But sometimes you gotta go for the subtle look. You know? But yeah. Somebody gifted me, for my birthday I believe, one of those Cricut cutters. So now all the stickers are nice and die cut, so they'll be the exact shape that it should be. Same thing with the keychains, which is why this looks so nice and slick. I'm glad that I got more, or some merch for that comic, because I keep on getting like really good feedback for it by new readers. And they're all like really into it. They really want to see a sequel. I'm not working on a sequel yet. I have one in mind. I have not sat down and actually put it together or gotten a draft done for the sequel. But at least I've got some merch. So you can show your love in another way, I guess. But yeah, cool keychains. Need some of that merch. Oh yeah. We also have the Burning Star stickers, which I'm going to be selling for fairly cheap because I figure, well, you know, it's something small and it's something that actually, you know, would help promote or showcase that Burning Star Comics even exists in the first place. Because we're pretty under the radar if you couldn't piece that together, you know? I saw the video where you were testing out making the keychains. Yeah, that video did terribly on views. I thought it was interesting. I've been watching a lot of those vlog craft videos myself, even kind of vlog videos for making comics. I find it really interesting because I really care about that kind of small business stuff and art making and comic books. No, not a lot of people actually watched that video though. And then people who did watch that video, a handful of people just left a fat dislike on that, and it's what I do. I know that they didn't turn out that perfect, but it's my first time making the keychains, so like, calm down. But you know, what are you gonna do? YouTube is gonna YouTube on you. What can I say? Have you thought about making some Burning Star logo t-shirts? I have been thinking about the t-shirt game. T-shirts are a little bit complicated because you have to know what sizes to order and how many, of course, obviously. But it's hard to get a design in literally every single size. because it's just more money and more product that you're just gonna have lying around. It's one of the nice things about like the keychains and the stickers is that they're so small, they're not gonna take up a lot of space. I can just put these in a drawer, right? For t-shirts, they're gonna be boxes of them. They're gonna really just be around the floor somewhere, or I would say stuffed in a closet, but that closet is already stuffed, so it's not going in there, that's for sure. But I think if I do t-shirts in the future, they're gonna be pre-ordered, similarly to what I'm doing with the printing of the comics on the website. It's gonna be pre-ordered t-shirts if I do make any in the future. I used to have a Teespring store, and that was print on demand, meaning that if you ordered it, they'd print one and send it to you. And that was fine, but I was upset by the quality of the work that Teespring was putting out there. I still have one super old t-shirt for Ellie the Eliminator that A.V. Jacobs made the design for me. Fantastic art, beautiful art, but the damn t-shirt is falling apart. It got fucked up in the wash. And you know, it's not because I washed it wrong or anything like that. It's because it's bad quality. And I don't want to sell t-shirts at bad quality. And you know, that's kind of just what Teespring is there for. So I decided, okay, no more Teespring. We'll find a better place to get t-shirts from. Now I learned that Sticker Mule, which is where a lot of people were going to get their stickers, I hear that they also do t-shirts. So that is another possibility as far as getting stuff printed. Obviously, there's also the potential to sell them at conventions and stuff like that. Although, conventions are so tricky, because I feel like everyone's going to convention to buy bootleg anime stuff, or bootleg comic stuff, but very rarely are looking for original IP from creators creating new stuff, which is in of itself kind of a black pill. I would hope that more people would be open to the idea of trying something new, but yeah, it just feels like the majority of the time people are looking for some bootleg stuff. And I just don't usually have a ton of fan art or anything to sell to them. I normally want to push my own stuff, you know? Yeah, that's usually how it goes. My friend loved the Horizon Quest comic and stickers I got him for his B-Day. That is so awesome to hear. Yes. Yeah, I loved making those Horizon Quest stickers too. I love doing the sticker pack because then I can give you watching a deal on the stickers and also sell a bunch at a time, because you know, selling the single stickers like these, yes they are big, yes they are fancy and holographic, but kind of just seems a shame to ship something that's just like this tiny little flat item. I'd rather like give you more bang for your buck, you know? It's just how I feel. Of course. Nerds are afraid of change. You might be right. You might be right. I've heard about Teespring, not always the greatest quality. Oh no. Quality I got from them was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I would have liked to have kept a print-on-demand store up. In the end, I'll probably do better if I just make the merch myself like I've been doing. You can make your own t-shirts at home. You can do that. And it would be cheaper. But I feel like I would not do a much better job at making them higher quality than Teespring would. So, I don't know if I should if I should do that. I don't know if I should bite that bullet, you know? Thanks for the 5, comic artist JW. I've been watching Dannphan's channel for over 30 years. I don't think that's right. I'm glad to see that you kept up with the comics. Thank you. Yeah, can't say that he's been watching me for over 30 years. But that would be very scary. If you're ever at a convention near me, I would like you to sign my comics. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I do. I sign everybody's comics for free at the conventions. Because I figure, you know, it's a special event, and you get to actually meet the writer and the artist, so it makes sense that you should just get it signed, you know? I know some people charge extra. It doesn't really... It's fine. It's fine. Just take the comic. Let's see. Aren't the convention booths expensive? I've heard many indie creators, if they are lucky, break even on the money spent and setting up at a convention. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, there are, like, professional convention goers that have really fancy, pretty booths, right? And they sell a ton. Like, there's this one YouTuber, Inkwell. I mentioned before, yes, I've been watching a lot of those artsy, creative blog type videos on YouTube. So of course, yes, yeah, I have watched Inkwell. He goes to conventions professionally, essentially. And he sells a bunch of original art prints. Not like with characters that he sells comics for, like I do. He just, you know, sells generally cute characters. No need for a story to read so that you know what's going on. It's just like, it's just good art, generally. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. Who's to say what works for one person might not work for another? But that's what he goes with when he goes to conventions. And he makes, like, ridiculous amount of money. Like, thousands upon thousands of dollars. I don't do that. Like you mentioned, I am lucky if I break even. Not even including, like, the gas to get there. If I need a hotel to stay overnight. Granted, we haven't gone to that many conventions where we need a hotel. We don't need a hotel, but, you know, expenses can really add up, especially if you have a long way to go. A hand wash both of my Campbell Italy teas. I made a mistake and ordered as small, and they sent me an XL free, though. My little granddaughter looks really slapping in the small navy blue one. Oh yeah, the navy blue, best for that shirt. Unfortunately, mine is destroyed, though. I mean, like, you can still kind of make out the picture of Ellie on the t-shirt, but it's not looking too hot. Oh, man. Dannphan doesn't remember, but I interviewed her on an old podcast I had when she had her boxing comic coming out. Yeah, I think I might vaguely remember. I went on a bunch of different streams for the first comic campaign. I know I should go on more for more of my other comic campaigns. There's not really a whole lot of people who are still doing the comic streams, though. It's kind of a bummer. There's still people out there if you really dig deep for them. I had Vaughn give me a list recently, so I'm looking through that for future stuff. But you know, I'm thinking maybe I should be doing that. But at the same time, I feel like maybe because I can't keep up a consistent schedule, maybe it's a bad idea. Like how Friday with Dannphan tonight is just randomly later than it usually is. this tends to be an issue. This is something I would like to fix in the future, but it's not going to fix anytime soon. So maybe it wouldn't be a good idea for me to try to commit too much to I don't know, man. I don't have all the answers. Thanks for the 5, Mark. Speaking of cons, any new ones coming up? It's funny you mention. There was a new one that we were supposed to go to. Well, it wasn't a con, it was a fair. They haven't gotten back to me. I gotta search through my emails. I think I already paid them and they just didn't get back to me. Or verify that we had a spot. So I gotta look through that. Fucking hate it when that shit happens, when people are just so disorganized that I lose money. That's not fun. But other than that, I don't think so. Other than that, I think it's just fairs. I don't think there's any, like, conventions. Oh, you know what? We were thinking about going to a PujiCon pop-up. That's something. In November. They have another PujiCon. They have some sort of pop-up event. And we were thinking about going to that. Or I think Adam already paid for that, so I think we are going to that. But yeah. Other than that, I think it's mostly just fairs for the rest of the year. Then we gotta think about more stuff next year, I guess. PujiCon is okay. It's alright. I don't know if these pop-up cons are going to be as popular as the official PujiCon that we went to in Pennsylvania, though. So, who's to say? Would you ever like to be a guest on Thinking Critical? I mean, I'm up for being a guest just about anywhere, so long as, so long as it isn't a super high-stress stream. I'm usually up for appearing as a guest if they want me. Granted, I probably don't do nearly as much media coverage as other channels do. It's part of the reason why I'm probably not growing as much as I used to in my heyday of YouTube, because like I mentioned before, you gotta capitalize on the trending topics to get anywhere on YouTube, and if you don't do that, YouTube doesn't like you. Give you a smacking. Let's see, the fair must be one of those amateur events. Indiana State Fair. I'll keep you in mind. No, the fairs are actually really good because local fairs tend to be much cheaper, and people, not all the time, but sometimes people are really more interested in buying at those fairs versus conventions. It depends. It really does depend a lot. But you're going to have less people to compete with at the fairs, first of all. You'll probably be the only one selling books and comics, right? And then, additionally, you get these fairs around Christmas time. So many people are buying. They're all looking for Christmas presents, and they don't want to go to the mall. They don't want to go from store to store to store. They want to go to one fair, support like a local artist or whatever, and just whatever Christmas gifts they can cover, they're gonna cover it there. So these Christmas fairs that we go to, we make bank. We make bank better than any other convention. The key detail, though, is that they're cheap. A lot of these comic and anime conventions, they're not cheap at all. They're fuck you up. The table fee will fuck you up depending on like where you get your table. And it's just so high to the point where it's almost impossible to make your money back when you're selling like $5 comics, you know? But even more so, they really cram you in there because they want as many people buying tables as possible. So you're competing with a lot of people, and not all the time people are really in a mood to buy when they go to these conventions, most people, I think, just want to dress up and, like, hang out and go to some of the events sometimes. But not everyone is in a buying mood. I'm in a buying mood when I go to a convention. But I don't like being sold to. So I'm one of those customers where I'm like, oh god, don't talk to me. Socializing, no! You know, that's... You wouldn't think it with the way that my YouTube is, but I'm actually very shy. I'm the classic, outroverted YouTuber, but super shy in real life type of person. Hello Trish! I wasn't expecting a stream this late. You're one of my favorite creators and I try to catch your streams when I can, but this is a bit too late to me. Yeah, it's alright. I totally get it. Oh whoa. I know, I usually stream earlier. Have you thought about coming on EFAP? I'm sorry, EFAP? I haven't watched them in ages, but if you'll guess there, I'll definitely turn up. That's a very unfortunate acronym for the stream title, but no, I've never been on. Oh yes, Maverick Christian, I almost missed this. Yay, a Friday stream when I'm home. Woohoo! There you go, there's one positive thing about having the stream later than usual. We get to see new faces. Scholastic Book Fair, let's go! I've never gone to a Scholastic Book Fair. Never gone. I don't know if they'd let me in. But it would be interesting to check out. Let's see, I'd love to see Dannphan at FairCon. Let's see where PoochieCon is. New Jersey? Not worth it. That's where I am! That's where we're based in. We've gone to cons in other states, of course. But it's always better to go to a state that you can drive to. But yeah, so our choices are usually like, okay, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. I think the furthest con we've ever gone to really is just BasedCon, which was in Michigan. That was a drive. That was a drive. Fuck. But yeah. Well, we've also gone to a convention in Manchester, New Jersey, and Manchester, Vermont. Or no, not Manchester, New Hampshire. All these fucking states with the new in the beginning. Manchester, New Hampshire, and then Manchester, Vermont. We've gone to those also. The New Hampshire con was very disappointing. Which is unfortunate because we'd like to live in New Hampshire. But that convention sucked. Alright, it didn't suck. It's just like all the same problems of being super crammed in, and we were in a room that nobody knew existed, so nobody was buying, and you know, it was kind of miserable, and we went a long way to be there, so very hard on the ego, so to say. Yeah, EFAP's probably not the best for a manga and comic focused creator. Old Jersey is what I prefer. Yeah, there you go. If you can make it happen, I'd like to see a Burning Star presence in Houston, Texas. God damn. Boy, would I like to send some stuff to Texas. If you know any comic book shops who are interested in getting wholesale comics from Burning Star, just send them my link. Link them to the website. They can get in contact with me and we'll send them some stuff. Mostly comics, of course. I don't know if I would send the merchandise, the handmade merch. I think that's gonna be probably Burning Star website exclusive for a while. But yeah, they're interested in any comics we got. You can just, just link them to me. I'll get them over there, one way or another. Technically, I'm not a new face, but it's been a long time since I've been to a live stream. Yeah, well, new compared to for a while, where with the usual crowds versus the crowds that we don't normally see unless I'm streaming late. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Joseph Choi. Local comic book shop closed down. Hate to see it. Really hate to see it. I mean, you and Adam, but I'll see what I can do. Oh yeah, flying to Texas. Would not be opposed to going to a convention in Texas. But yeah, flying with a bunch of merchandise, you know, with all the boxes and everything, and checking all the luggage, it is a pain, which is why we have not done it. Especially with the airport that we have to work with. It's well, you don't have to worry about it, but my point is maybe something in the future, but not at the moment. See, I had my own booth at Denver Comic-Con 3 years in a row. It sucks. Everyone is there to cosplay. Yeah, I feel ya. I feel you, man. And I was thinking about, like, doing cosplay myself at the table to get some people to come to the table without me needing the instead of the IP being sold. What if I was the IP, right? What if I just dressed up as Freerin, and maybe then people would talk to me? That is one method. I knew this other girl at this one convention who did that, who had like a couple cosplays with her, and then she would change on the day, and that was a topic of conversation that would get people to come to her table. I don't know if they bought anything, but it did get people to come over. That's one step. Even if you do have IP on the table, low chance that they're going to buy the IP. I'll say that much. It's still like kind of a toss-up whether or not they're actually going to pay for it. But they will point it out. They will recognize it. And that makes it more likely that they will come over to the table. Will they buy it? Maybe. It's difficult. It's difficult selling in general. And I've mentioned it before. I'm not good at selling. I completely fall flat on my face when it comes to selling. You'd think I'd be better at it, you really would, but even on the channel, I'm not particularly great at selling. I can definitely make you aware that something exists. I can give you all the links that you need, but I don't know, man. I need to take like a course or something. Are there any like master salesmen in the chat? Give me some advice for how to sell. I feel like some people in the chat would give better advice than I would give. Just because I'm usually super awkward and scared when people approach me. Oh, you can cosplay as Hazel or Ichabod or any of your characters. I could. But that's the thing, nobody would recognize my characters. Nobody would recognize my characters. They wouldn't be like, I know that IP. No, it wouldn't happen. But if I cosplayed as an IP that they recognize, then they'd come up and be interested, right? There was the one Garden State Anime Fest, not to be confused with Comic Fest. Garden State Anime Fest. I didn't cosplay as an IP, but I dressed up as a Crusader because, I mean, come on, right? The reaction I got from this one girl was so funny. Oh god. She looked immediately offended at my costume. But yeah, so I dressed up as a Crusader. And that in of itself got some attention by people who just generally like knight stuff. And the best reaction that it got, though, was this one guy who was like, oh, like Solaire. I was not dressed as Solaire. I was just dressed as a Crusader. But, you know, like I said, people, they recognize based on IP. They do not, you know, really quite understand something unless they can kind of link it to something familiar. So that's what we're working with at these conventions. Maybe if I had actually just straight up dressed up as Solaire, I would get more attention instead of just nameless Crusader. But I do like I like the Crusader costume that I have, so that's what we went. That's what we went with. They may not know you, but they may be interested because of your cool design. Yeah, I don't know, man. Can't say for sure. I'm taking back the Holy Land, Snowflake. Yeah, she acted as though I said that to her. Or to be fair, she didn't say anything to me. But her mouth, her expression said it all. She looked visibly upset at me. Her mouth was like hanging open, like I had betrayed her in some... Because when I met her the day before, I was not dressed up as a Crusader. The next day, a Sunday, I dressed up as the Crusader, right? And she looked betrayed. Like... Oh, I also brought the Crusader sword along with me. Though I have the sword that Adam got me for... What was that, Christmas? I don't remember. But I brought that also. Very loose rules at Garden State Anime Fest. Gotta say, they didn't care that I brought in a sword. It's a blunted weapon. You can't kill any... Well, you could probably kill someone with it if you really tried, but it's not sharp. It's for decoration, basically. But yeah, that was heavy. No, that is heavy. That's a heavy sword. I was getting a workout just by carrying it around. My god. But I guess that's good, because I usually don't work out that much. So, there you go. It's fun to offend the easily offendable. I wasn't even trying. I just showed up in a Crusader outfit. That's it. I didn't do or say anything that would be offensive to her. She's just offended by my costume. She was dressed up as a fucking Sith Lord. I'm not offended by that. I show up as a Crusader. Her mouth drops to the ground. Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Cosplay is Wednesday Addams. You're rocking those braids already. Yeah, right. That would be an easy cosplay. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. I do like the braids, you know? I've always been a fan of the pigtail look. As you can probably tell on the channel, it's almost exclusively my hairstyle. Braids kind of make it a little bit more fancy. More of a fancy pigtail, you know? I went as a Crusader at the last anime Matsuri. A guy dressed as Solaire complimented me. Yeah. You know, it's funny. We saw like a group of people dressed as like Crusaders or Templar Knights at, I think it was the New Hampshire Con. I think. And we complimented them. We said, oh, Deus Vult. And then they looked at us like, what? It's like, look at what you're dressed as. Deus Vult. They had no idea what we were talking about. They made us feel like weirdos. But you're the ones dressed up as Crusaders. Yeah, so, and you know, we bring it up and they're like confused and they're like, oh, we this for the memes. It's like, oh, even if you just follow the memes, you should know what Deus Vult is. Normies. They were CIA agents. I ousted them as CIA agents. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh my god. Oh yeah, the Crusade Magic the Gathering card. That's we bought it straight from the artist. It's banned art. Because apparently Crusade is triggering. yeah, so obviously Adam doesn't give a fuck. He bought the art piece from the artist himself. He has an art page where you can buy a print of Crusade. So we did that. I love when people cosplay things and don't even know the basic lore. Yeah, they know that they like the design, but that's as deep as it goes. There's so many, and you know, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when I say this, but because my very first convention, I did the same thing. But there's so many people who just get dressed up for the sake of dressing up as something. They'll just have their friend will give them a costume, or they'll just pick out an anime design that they like and don't even know the anime for. They just buy it so that they can wear it, and then they'll go to the conventions like that. And when you try to compliment them or ask them what they think about the anime or the manga, they won't know anything about it. And you can't really have a conversation with them because they're just dressed up as something because they like the outfit and nothing more. Granted, the first convention I ever went to, I did not have a costume. And a friend at the time had just given me something to wear, and I didn't know anything about it. I know more about it now, but I didn't know anything about it then. It was Final Fantasy Kairi, right? And a guy was very excited to see me in that costume. I'll say that much. It was a good costume. It was a cute dress, right? Cute pink short dress. There was a guy who was very excited about it, but I could not participate in any conversation with him because I didn't know much about it at the time. But yeah, so I myself have had that experience on the other side. I do not do this anymore. I no longer go to conventions dressed up as things that I don't know anything about, but at least I understand the experience from the other side. True enlightenment is banning classic MTG art that is not offensive to any reasonable person. Yeah, there's a whole list. There's a whole list of banned art, or so they like, I think that they banned the card itself, actually, because it was named Crusade. They came out with another card that does the same thing, but they just called it something else. But yeah, they banned the art, they banned the card, and then they were like, oh, it's insensitive, so we're not gonna use it anymore, and you can't use it in tournaments, you have to use the new card, otherwise you're a bigot. You know how it goes, you know? It's fine. Let's see. Glad I'm not the only one that would only dress up if I know the character and lore. I remember only cosplaying as Kakashi after I finished Naruto. Yeah, I feel ya. Because, I mean, especially now, I have like a few costumes just tucked away from once upon a time where I was like super into cosplay. Not super into cosplay anymore, but I would do it if it would help people come to my table. Because there are definitely lots of anime that I have been enjoying recently. Frieren, right? I have a bookmarked cosplay for Frieren. I also would not mind doing a Full Metal Alchemist cosplay. Well, I have like the Full Metal Alchemist the alchemy uniform thing. What? The state alchemist uniforms, you know, the blue generic, right? I have one of those. But Adam is super into the idea of couples cosplay. So because Full Metal Alchemist is one of the only anime ever created that has a character with long hair and glasses, naturally we could do a couples cosplay, Hohenheim and Trish. Or is it Trish or Trisha? It's my name, so really I should know. But yes, so we could do a couples cosplay of them, and really all I'd have to do is like put my hair to the side and get a pink purplish dress and apron. So that would be a super easy cosplay to do. And I could just like cross my fingers and hope that people recognize what we're supposed to be. Adam has to get like a vest and stuff though. But for the most part, that would be a fairly simple cosplay. And then the benefit is I also get to see Adam in nice clothes. Yeah, there you go. Yes, those offensive crusaders which were organized in response to an aggression from the Arab world. Yeah, you know, sometimes history repeats itself a little bit too much. But yeah. I would come to your booth if you cosplay as Dannphan. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Not everybody knows that I'm a YouTuber, though. I don't even really think of myself as a YouTuber. It's difficult to hear other people treat me as though I'm a very successful YouTuber, because I kind of just don't see it that way myself, you know? People look at the 69,000 subscribers, nice, and they just think, oh, you must make a lot of money from the videos then, right? No. And, you know, some people just judge based on subscription, but they don't look at the view count, and if you actually look at my view count, compare it to the actual number of subscribers, you would see that the channel is kind of ultimately a failure. Not so much of a failure that I would shut it down at this time, but, you know, it's just, you know, it's such a small portion of subscribers that actually check out the content that it's slightly more embarrassing than impressive. Adam would have to dye his hair blonde. I don't think he would do that. I think he would just do the casual, you know, wear his hair in a ponytail and wear a vest and call it a day. I don't think I could get him to like make as lore accurate of a cosplay. He's very into the idea of like the casual cosplay. He doesn't want to really do too much to look like the character, you know? Do you actually play Magic the Gathering? Not so much anymore. I have played it before. I've played it with friends. I've played it with Adam. That's about it. I don't go to the things. I don't do the tournaments. And I don't play any of the mobile games or any of the digital versions of the game. But yes, I've got Magic the Gathering. I have them. I don't really play it that much. I won't pretend like I'm ultra nerd or anything like that. But I am aware of how to play the game and what to do. Everyone go watch on the Dannphan channel, then watch them again. Spread the word of the channel. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for encouraging people to, yes, watch my videos, but it's fine. It's more so a matter of me trying to figure out a formula that works for the channel, while also not doing something that I don't want to do on the channel. I found it so anxiety-inducing focusing all my efforts on covering news topics. There's always news out there, and it's mostly negative news. So I don't want to really go back to doing that content unless it's something I'm genuinely interested in or genuinely like need to talk about type of stuff. But yeah, you also have to upload a lot to really be that news content coverage type of channel. You look at like Clownfish TV, for example, they're uploading multiple times a day. I can't do that. Especially because I'm only really entertaining when you edit me down a lot. edit down all the stupid things I say in between, and then that's when we get peak entertainment. So there is a lot of work that goes into each video that I put up. More work now than ever, I think, anyways. But yeah, not so much work that goes into a lot of news coverage type videos. Thanks for the 2, Maverick. Will bribes convince you to do more later streams? Well, I have been thinking about doing other streams on like another day. Fridays with Dannphan are special though. These are sacred. So maybe we just keep them at the usual time if we can. I want to make sure I get as many people as possible to just cram into the stream. It's hard to get a good time where everybody's online, especially when I only do these streams for like an hour. But I do my best, you know. Try to hit like a shotgun. You get a nice spread of people who can tune in to the Friday streams, hopefully. Channel needs more Space Marine too. yeah, that'll do it. Your woke comic read-through videos have been cracking me the F up recently. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like them. Yeah. Honestly, some of the, well, not the most popular videos, but some of the most popular videos I've ever done were read-throughs of, like, cringe DCYA stuff. I Am Not Starfire, I think, because that blew up, so that became a trending topic. And I did a read-through of the entire comic, and that got a ton of views. If only, right? All of my read-throughs got as many views as the I Am Not Starfire read-throughs did. I'd be set for life. Wouldn't have to worry about shit, because those videos are so easy to make. It's so easy and fun to make the read-through videos, and it only costs me a little bit of my sanity every time. It'll build up eventually, but we'll worry about that in the future, you know? Oh my god, yeah, right. A 24-hour gaming stream? I would die. I would be dead. Oh, maybe with comic reads. We could totally fill 24 hours. My throat is already sore just from talking for 54 minutes live on air now. My goodness. I like where your head is at, though. You're thinking in the right, you're thinking in the right directions. I've been thinking about doing the live comic read-throughs instead of doing the edited down ones. Or to do live comic and upload an edited down version. Maybe. The issue is copyright. Really, that's the main problem that we face, is the copyright issue, because if you're just showing the pages way too much in your video where you're doing your read-through and critique, you can get struck. I've had my original channel that some of you may not even know about because it was so long ago. Yeah, like, what, 5 years ago? 4 years ago? I don't remember, but yeah, so my original channel, I did a bunch of those manga read-throughs where I'd read through a new chapter. Not even the whole thing, it's just like whatever new chapter was out. And even editing those down, I get copy striked the fuck out of me. And that's the issue. Granted, I don't know if Marvel or DC nearly cares as much about their IP as manga does, but that's a thing. It's something to worry about when you're doing live read-throughs. What I'd like to do, and I mentioned this before on a community post, I think it would be really fun to do live read-throughs of manga as well, like new manga, like the one-shots that are being promoted on Manga Plus, for example. But then we run into the copyright issue because manga is so protective of their IP. I do worry it would become an issue as soon as I start to stretch out into that type of content. And there's no third channel for me to move on to. This is my last stop, so to say. Unless we start doing them on Rumble instead or something, I don't know. Your last video about creators' politics was interesting. I commented, I'll support a creator as long as they make good stories and products and put out said products in a timely manner. Good to hear. I hope that I'm one of those people that makes good stuff for you. Worst SJW comic you've ever read? I'm inclined to say Mother of Madness. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Whenever anyone asks me the worst comic I've ever read, that's the first thing that pops into my head is Mother of Madness. It's so fucking bad. It's torture. It's torture to read. It really is. But then again, there are other bad comics out there. For sure, there are other bad comics out there. But that's the first one that comes to mind. If I ever read one that makes me more mad than Mother of Madness, I'll let you know. How about making a comic read of a good comic story? To be fair, it's my first time reacting to those comics. I don't know if they're going to be good or not. They're just usually not. To be fair, though, if it's my first time reading the story, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It's very possible for me to pick up a DC trans story be good. It's possible that could happen. It just doesn't. Bad comics are what makes them hilarious, yeah. Well, that is something to consider. A lot of people who are watching the videos, they're watching them because the comics are bad and because it's fun to make fun of them. And that is the reality of it, usually. I do also videos where I talk about comics that I like, and of course, yes, manga that I like. There's a lot more manga that I like, for sure. But, yeah, view-wise, if you compare, it's usually not the same, unless I'm talking about something like saucy that happened in a recent manga. Like my video where I briefly just talked about Uzaki boning Sakura, like that, Sakurai, sorry, that got so many views compared to any other video I talk about when it comes to latest manga chapter. Also the Chainsaw Man video. And I don't think I did that good of a job, like, talking about that Chainsaw Man chapter by any means. But, hey, Denji got a hand job, so naturally everybody's gonna click on that video, right? And that's about as far as I get when it comes to making videos about stuff that I like and having it blow up. Unfortunately, you know, some people, just like, what they're most reactive to is stuff that they like to make fun of, or stuff where something sexy happens. That seems to be like the two main hitters when it comes to this channel, the two things that people will always tune in for. Well, I wouldn't be able to skip the pages if I was live reading it for the first time. Then again, maybe I could. Maybe there's just a bunch of pages that have a bunch of filler and I'm like, not reading this. You know, that did actually happen when I was reading Satana, the Jewel of Gravesend. There were so many pages where it just didn't need to know any of that information, and at some point I was just like, you know what? Skip. Don't need to know this. Skip it. I should have just did that with the entire comic. The whole thing was a waste of time. But, you know, sometimes it just be like that. Would you ever, sorry, I got like something, okay, there we go. There's the comment. Would you ever like to make a crossover with the Rippaverse? If he wanted me to, I don't think he knows that I exist. You know, just being blunt. I also don't make any superhero content at this time. Like, none of my comics are superhero comics. They're all kind of doing their own thing. Reaper is going to be my first series, right? But Reaper fantasy, dark fantasy, especially. So, I don't think I'm on the top list of people to collaborate with when it comes to the Ripperverse. To ask if people actually wanted me to review those Ripperverse comics. I know people have requested it before, but I'm thinking maybe I should do an actual poll to see, you know, how much people are actually interested in me reviewing them. Sorry, some of these comments are getting to me. Those read-throughs you do with the voices are always enjoyable. They're pretty bad, but that's what makes them fun. Yeah. Yeah, those are probably like the easiest video content for me to get out. That'll usually perform about the same. Sometimes, if you get lucky, they'll explode. Sometimes, but you know, it's usually about the same. So I'll keep doing those, but one of the things I want to focus on doing going forward is doing more indie comic reviews. Obviously we have the paid reviews, but I also have a list of comics that I genuinely wanted to review on my own, no money required. So I want to review those, put those out there. You can consider those my wildcard videos if you'd like, but in general, more indie comic reviews, more shout-outs to creators who are actually doing good work out there. And then we'll do more of those funnies read-throughs. And I don't know, maybe more art streams? Although I can't say that my art streams have always done the best view-wise. I don't think people are as interested in my art. But then again, like, you think back on the art streams that I've done in the past. I did the one Reaper 2-page spread. It looks great. The end product looks really good, right? But most of, like, I spend an entire stream just doing nothing but drawing grass. And I think that's probably more boring than watching grass grow. So, you know, maybe next time I'll pick better art pieces to draw during those streams. I think people enjoyed the Bar Maiden art piece a little bit better. It gave me a reason to draw a big titty waifu. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta draw those big titty waifus for the art streams. But yeah, I'll put up a poll if people really want me to review the Ripperverse comics. I can do that. They are indie comics. They are, like, you know, they have an audience out there of people who want to hear reviews of them, for sure. Part of the reason why I avoided is just because I am burnt out on superhero stuff. Hence the reason why I'm not putting out any superhero stuff, but I can do it. I do reviews. I can pick them up and read them and tell you what I think. Thanks again, Maverick. Thank you for reading this super chat on your live stream. You're welcome. Isn't drawing grass what the kids are doing these days? The kids are doing alright. Anyways, we are reaching the end of the stream, because I only do these for about an hour, as I've said. And right now it's 7:20 p.m. At least, you know, where I am in the world. So, probably should be wrapping this up. I do feel bad because I started the stream quite late, quite later than the usual. But, you know. So I'll hang out for like a few more minutes. If anybody has any topics that they want to just like quickly get my thoughts on before I head out, or any questions, you know, generally that I can answer right away, I'll do that before I wrap up stream. Let's see, why don't you try reading through a comics book series that you actually love and inspires you? It'd be cool to see you break down and analyze things you love and explain why you love them. Generally, I try to do that with the reviews. The issue is, once again, copyright. Of course, copyright is always a problem. Especially when a lot of the stuff that I really love and enjoy is the manga. But also, generally, I'm picking like specific pages and I'm editing them together to make it look nice, whereas the read-throughs, I'm just scrolling through the pages. I guess Chibi sometimes does scrolling through the pages when he's like reviewing something. But, you know, I feel bad just because I'm usually getting the pages to showcase either from Manga Plus, which will have ads, I guess, popping up, or from a piracy site, which will also have ads popping up. So generally I try to just edit this in, but yeah, I don't know. It's not like I haven't done those videos before. Like, what's the most recent one? I made a video called Kindergarten Wars Broke My Heart, which was me talking about this one scene, this one death scene from Kindergarten Wars, without spoiling too much, of course, that I really enjoyed. Let me check right now. How well did that perform? Oh, I guess it was an older video than I thought. It feels like it was recent, but I guess it wasn't. Yes, Kindergarten Wars Broke My Heart. 2,000 views. So nothing too special there. And then they finally did it in Uzaki-chan, 28,000 views. I gotta give the people what they talk about the sex scenes. It's not even like they get graphic in the manga. I guess people are just like happy that they had sex to begin with. Chapter of Chainsaw Man broke the internet, 7,000 views. That actually did not do as well as I thought it did. I thought it would do like equally as well as the Uzaki video. I guess not. Then again, I was one of the first. Actually, I think I was the first person to make a video about the Uzaki thing. Cause Chibi uploaded a video about it way later after I talked about it. So yeah, I don't know. Will you do a special video for 100k subscribers? Sure, but to be brutally honest with you, I don't think I'm ever gonna get 100,000k. To give you a brief and like summary of this channel, I've been at like 69,000 subs for 2 years now, which is very abnormal. I've never seen a channel lack growth as much as this channel has. It's a failure on my part, right? But it's a supernaturally fantastic failure. But sure, if I get 100,000 subscribers, I'll do another poll, and we'll do something fun for it. Clownfish, Rippa, and you are my indies of choice. Good to hear it. I'm glad that people enjoy the comics. I do my best to make each better than the last, and it's difficult, of course. I was working on some pages for Reaper Book 2. Reaper Book 2, that's what I was working on earlier. At least the drafts, anyway. So, rough sketches. I was working on a scene that I really enjoyed, because Reaper Book 1 did not have a whole lot of comedy in it. And actually, some jokes from Reaper Book 1 got cut. Got cut last minute. Or maybe not last minute, but during the drafting process in general. So, it's good to now be doing Book 2. and working on putting more funny in there, putting more lightheartedness. Feels good. Feels like how it should be, where it's a little bit more balanced with dark scenes and then the light scenes, and they're all playing off of each other. Yeah, let's make a sacrifice to the algorithm gods. I'll get on that, right? Where's the golden goat? It's just whoosh. 69 for 2 years. Might want to see a doctor about that. 69 subscribers. Nice. Yeah, there you go. And maybe that's why. Maybe people are just like, we can't subscribe videos because we don't want it to not ever be 69,000 subscribers. So we must resist the urge to subscribe, because otherwise she'll have 70,000. That would be terrible. 69 viewers. Yeah, I see that too. We did it, boys. 69,000 subs, 69 viewers. Nice. There we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry the stream has been a little bit finicky. The internet just doesn't work sometimes. It's not very good. Not good. Part of the reason why I'd like to move, but, you know. Thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic Friday with Dannphan. Please do go check out Burning Star Comics. Go check out some new merch, new comic up on the site, Searchers by Mark Moore. Check it out if you are interested in seeing a new fun story. We got stuff. we do got stuff. Yeah, we do. Good night, and I'll see you next time on the next video, the next stream, the next whatever. So, good night, everybody. God, I'm so bad at ending these things. Alright, good night, everybody. See you next time. Bye.